Apparently, Michael Porter Jr. His girlfriend should have paused when he told her, "We're going 50-50. I may make 200 mil, but we're going 50-50. So find a house or apartment that you can afford, and we splitting them bills." And so, what do you guys thought on that? Do you think that was fair or foul? The fact that he's a multi-millionaire and he's going 50-50 with his girl.
That's not pause worthy. That's a player. See what I did there? Yes, because he fast forwarded to the important point. Okay, what he did was he set his expectations up front and he held to them. That's a stand-up guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know who's out there talking about that, but he's salute worthy. He said, "Look, ma'am, it doesn't really matter what I make and what you make at this point. We're not married. So we got these bills. We going half on these bills. You know what I mean? You bring what you bring. I bring. Matter of fact, let me see how good you do on paying things on time." Apparently, she wasn't too great because when they partied, she somehow couldn't remember to pay. He still held his part up, though. So for all these women out here claiming that men are hobosexuals or doing whatever to stay there, maybe they're not all like that, ma'am. Maybe you're just hard to live with, but guess what? We'll still pay the rent. Real man, real talk. Go ahead. That's all I got to say.
Crystal, you speechless? Because you don't want me to go. I promise you.
The thumbs up, I guess, was your input. I just foolish games that Negroes continue to play, because they are so concerned that a woman is going to use them for their money. Why not just get a woman who you actually think is worth something? Because I don't know if he wants to live. If he was worth 200 million, it may not be safe for him to live in an environment with a woman who doesn't make anywhere near as much as he does. But I mean, I know that we've got to go through all these games. It's funny that in order to protect your money, you have to somehow degrade the woman. Why not just find a woman who's amazing and who actually is after more than just your money? And then you probably wouldn't have to play those stupid games. But I mean, play on. She's still going to figure out a way to get to the money.
I am completely flabbergasted that is where you took this, because here's my thing, right? This idea that a man is supposed to financially show up like a husband in the early girlfriend stage sounds ridiculous, right? Because listen, I hear when women say things like, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have to show up as a wife." Okay, I hear you, but cooking does not count, ma'am. I'm sorry. Okay. You know what I mean? It doesn't count, right? When you're talking about bill paying, right? And the expectation, the audacity, right? Why don't you earn that first? The fact that I'm even willing to pay. Listen, I'm not staying there, Crystal. Let's be honest, right? He's just making sure Shorty is good. Even though he's not staying there, he's like, "You know what? I want to make sure you're good. I'm going to pay half. Find something that you can afford, right? And I'm going to go ahead and have these on you," which is really me saying, "Girl, live it up a little bit. I'm going to take care of you on the half side." Now, think about this, Crystal. If she could afford 4, right? And now she's only having to pay 2. Right? Now she got an extra 2 off rip. This brother is building in a financial vehicle for her to not only be self-sufficient, but let me put some money away, put some money aside. The things that y'all women say when it comes to expecting a man to do certain things. So he put her on a trial run, on a trial plan. You know what I'm saying? And she couldn't even make it through the first year subscription. You know what I mean? Homeboy not only canceled his plan, but he was like, "You know what? I'm going to continue to pay." You know what I'm saying? When Jimmy Kimmel was about to get canceled, if people was like, "Hey, Hulu, I'm going to cancel," wouldn't it have been great if Hulu was like, "Hey, you can cancel, but I'm going to still get paid for another year," right? Because they wouldn't have gave a fuck. But that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? She outlived her usefulness, and he decided to cancel his plan, but still paid. And that is chivalrous. And the fact that he did all of these things, and that y'all can pay him this type of way is ridiculous. It is ludicrous. What you mean?
It's a control plan. I am going to make sure that you're taken care of, or halfway taken care of, so that nobody else is over there, so that I can come whenever I want, so that you can do all the things I want you to do when I come, and you can be accessible to me. Well, that costs, sir.
What's wrong with that?
Yes. It costs half the rent.
No, it does not. Because you know what? I'm going to predict something. I'm going to predict, because even though we're going through all that, he's talking all this, he's talking big smack, but what is going to happen is he's going to end up, probably when he comes over there to enjoy her, he's not going to use the condom. She's going to get pregnant. She's going to get the money anyway.
No, he bounced already, girl. The relationship's over. She was on a 10-day contract, and that contract expired, from what I understand. And he still kept... No, it's like when you quit the job. When you quit the job and you still get paid, he gave her severance. You know what I'm saying? I don't
And that's
understand how
cold.
he's a villain. I don't understand how he's a villain here.
How are we going to overlook the
So-
fact that she is right now preying on his downfall? She's like, another one will get him. He'll get another one. It'll happen. It's bound to happen.
I'm just saying that it's the same thing. Like, just get better women, or keep doing that.
Okay,
Or
so
are you
first of all,
saying- go
I
ahead.
don't even know if he actually. So did he pay the contract out up front for the year, or because do we know he paid it for the rest of
think
the
they
year?
was in a year contract or whatever. In about 5 or 6 months, they broke up, and he paid the remainder of the year. Like, he took care of his half for the remainder of their term. The lease,
the lease?
yeah, the lease, yeah.
Right, okay.
Since the story is not that he was in court for eviction, one might assume that he paid her portion as well as his portion for the remainder of the lease.
So we will not be making that assumption, that's for
Yeah,
sure, because
yeah,
I would
sorry,
need to
Jay.
see it to believe it. Because
Yeah,
if
sorry, Jay.
if he was standing on that point of 50-50 from the beginning, then I don't see him being generous enough to go ahead and pay out the full lease on her part too.
He's not going to
And
ruin his credit.
like I said, I don't see him being generous enough to pay out the rest of it, because especially if they already broke up after only 5 or 6 months. And I think that this was clearly a control thing and a power imbalance. I think this was one of those things where just because it's amazing to me. So I think men, when we talk about 50-50, it's always about finances, right? But there's 50-50 in other ways. And I think that men say, oh, we're only talking about equality. You women say you want an equality without recognizing we're talking about equity. We're talking about equity versus equality, because you can be equitable in a situation and that will be equals equality as well. But when we talk about 50-50, it's always like, oh, no, right down the middle, right down the middle. And I think that's bullshit. I think it's a power play. I think it actually shows that he had the upper hand and the relationship was imbalanced. Now, what I do respect from him, though, is the fact that he told her up front. He was like, yo, this is what it is. And she decided to go down. She was like, you know what? I'm down for this ride. And so she joined the clown show and then she got clowned. So that's her fault. She went ahead and did it instead of putting her like, no, I don't know if I want to do that. Or maybe we shouldn't move to this point yet. But she thought she was going to get broken off something more than what she was going to get broken off. And he stood his ground and was like, nah, you know, it is what it is and it be what it be. So deuces, shorty. And that's on her for not recognizing that this dude was literally playing games from the start. And so she needed to put her boundaries in place. And at the same time, because he stood on his boundaries. So I just think that often men say, oh, I want an independent woman, right? And then weaponize 50-50 to dodge their own responsibilities and roles depending on where they are in the relationship. If she's a starter girlfriend, cool. You ain't got to do 50-50. I mean, you don't have to do 100%. Cool. And like I said, he put up front. But let's stop saying we want independent women and then weaponize 50-50 without recognizing there's other elements of 50-50 when we talk about 50-50. In his particular case, being $200 million. Damn, that's cold. But yo, she knew from the start.
Okay,
What you mean? Listen, hold on. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead,
now,
man.
go ahead, man. I'm about to pivot to something else. Go ahead.